Hello everyone, welcome back to another Kidwell's Marketing live stream. I'm here today with Mike from Strategus Consulting. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Nice to be here.
Finally here.
Yeah,
Finally.
absolutely.
Long
yeah.
time in the making.
Really
So, I think we'll start a little bit. Tell us about yourself. What's your background? What have you done before? And it's kind of how has it led up to now?
Okay. So I'm Mike Harris. I'm currently the MD and owner of a business consultancy called Strategus Consulting. But prior to that, I've had 40 years working in various industries, construction, manufacturing, and most recently I was managing director of a large engineering company. And during that time, I ran businesses large and small, sort of covering everything from winning work all the way through the operations and finance and commercial through to sort of running the businesses overall and sort of HR, so touched all the bases really.
All of it. So really well rounded. And so how has that led up to where you are now?
Yeah, so back during COVID, prior to COVID, I was spending most of my time travelling all over the UK, and I decided I kind of didn't want to do that anymore. COVID kind of gave me an opportunity to re-engage with the family and realise that maybe spending most of my time on the road wasn't the right thing. So I set up Strategus Consulting with the view really to provide support to businesses and individuals and put back really what I've got out. I've been lucky, I've had lots of really good bosses and people have sort of mentored and coached me, and I thought it'd be really good to try to put back and help. So I set up Strategus Consulting really, and I'd say to everybody, I'm not actually that clever. I've just got lots of experience, most of which has come from things that have gone wrong and not gone really well.
You have to find, you find the solution.
So you find the solution, and what I can do is help businesses avoid the problems, or if they're facing issues, I've normally got something I can draw upon and say, okay, well this might work, or you might think of this because that's what worked in the past. So that's kind of what I do, really.
Yeah, amazing. So obviously you do a lot of planning, a lot of coaching.
Yeah.
What services do you actually offer?
Right, so when I set up the business, I thought I'd focus on 4 things in particular that I enjoy. So that if I was going to do this, I wanted to put away all the things I didn't like from running a business and just home in on the 4 things. So the 4 things we do is we do strategy and business planning. And I'll go back over each of these in a minute. So we do strategy and business planning. We do bid management, which is helping companies do tenders and proposals. My background, a lot of experience I've got is through project management. So we provide project services, as I call it, but it's essentially project management services. And then supporting all of that, we do business coaching and mentoring as well. That we bolt on to one of the other 3, or we do that independently with clients.
Yeah, amazing. So obviously alongside the planning, you offer workshops.
Yes.
So how do those work? What businesses can get involved as well?
Yeah, so what I tend to do with the business planning and the strategy is I run a series of workshops, which is work with the businesses to understand the business, look at some key components. So the things we tend to focus on is what is the strategy that they want for the business? In other words, where do they want to be in 3 years' time or 5 years' time? What type of clients do they want to be working with? What type of products or services do they want to provide, or are they providing but perhaps they could expand and do something different? Are they working in the right sectors? Are there growth sectors they could be moving into? So we look at that and we set out a vision for where we want the business to get to over either a 3-year or 5-year period, depending how long the business plan is for. We then look at what I call the identity of the business, and it's quite interesting actually, because often I say to somebody, what's the company's identity? And what they tell me is what they do, and pretty much describe what anybody else in the same sector does. And so I say to them, yeah, but that's not really your identity. What actually makes you different? What is it about you that your customers come back on? What do you sort of do that's sort of not necessarily unique, but is you do it in a way that's different or appeals to people in a different way, and also how do you operate that's different, or maybe you've got something quirky within the business that
set yourself apart, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For sure.
So we look at the identity. We then look at what I call the competitive advantage, which is taking that identity and saying, okay, so that's what makes you unique, but how do you use that to sell the business? How do you get more clients? How do you increase the revenue? How do you increase the profit as a result of those identities? And I try to do that in a catchy, memorable way, because I like gimmicks. I like to try to get things that, and I'm not got a very good memory, so I need to have something that helps me remember it, so it tries to help them remember. But then they can utilise it in selling it to their customers as well. So, and then the last thing we look at, which I think is the most important bit, and in many ways, most people when they look at strategy and business plans, they don't do this, is look at why it's going to fail. What are going to be the challenges that's going to stop it? So most people, they put together their business plan, and it's almost like a wish list, really. This is, I want to be the biggest, the best. And what they don't think about is what's going to stop it, what's going to get in the way. And we don't do that to be pessimistic. We do that so we can then start thinking about what are the actions we need to do then. If we know in 3 months' time getting resources is going to be a problem, or 3 months' time or they're not going to get the work in that sector because they don't have any knowledge of that sector, or the sector has no knowledge of them, what do they start needing to do now to address it? Exactly. So the challenge then leads to an action plan. So those are the 4 things we home in on and drive that through the workshops, put together the business plan. And we also, separate but incorporated in that, also produce a marketing plan, because that's critical to delivering the business plan. So typically, they're supposed to be 4 modules, but sometimes clients want to do them quicker, and sometimes, what should be 1 module actually spreads over 2 or 3 because of the length of time it takes to look at.
Bespoke to them, though, isn't it? I think
absolutely. So what they end up with is a unique business plan that's for that business and for that individual. And I work on the workshops. I can have as many as 30 people in a room. And I've done it as one-on-ones with business leaders, so it's quite a wide range. And then the follow-up to that is they then tend to engage with me to come back on a regular basis, just to help them sort of achieve the business plan, address any issues that come up that maybe hadn't been anticipated, get advice. So I could become a bit of a long-term advisor.
You work alongside them.
Yeah, exactly.
No, amazing. And I know, obviously, aside from the planning and the coaching, you offer BidSmart. So what is that approach and how does it make it different?
So BidSmart is, a lot of customers nowadays are having to do more and more tendering and estimating in order to win work. And it's a minefield, to be honest. There's so many things that you have to achieve in pre-qualification initially, and then the tenders themselves. And there's so many questions that are asked related to things like cyber security, social value. So what I've got is I've developed a program that's called BidSmart, and BidSmart came about because I was thrown into the deep end going back quite a while ago. I took over a business which within a space of 6 months had no work and no clients because of a recession. So we went through a process of trying things out, repeating what worked, ditching what didn't work, and we ended up with this process that significantly improves people's tendering rates and tendering ratios. So what we do is we go and train people up on that. We will support them on individual bids. In some cases, we'll run the bid for them.
Okay.
And that helps them, A, learn the bidding process, but also, even if they're well experienced with bids, it helps them improve their tendering ratios.
Yeah, you're not there to replace and do it for them.
No,
you're
exactly.
Helping them.
Well, exactly right. And what I say to people is, I'm actually not very good at this because what I'm doing is training you, so you don't need me anymore. So in some ways, I'm constantly having to find new clients.
But on that basis, sort of, who are your usual clients sector-wise, or the size of businesses? Who do you like to work with? Who are you looking to work with in the future?
Well, a wide range on size and sectors. So size-wise, I work for big multinational firms, and I go right down to sort of one-man bands and startups. So quite a wide, broad range. Majority, I have to say, is with SMEs. About 70% of what we do is with SMEs. Which is good, and I think that's because a lot of those businesses don't have that in-house support or that in-house experience, so they outsource it for it. Sectors, I do a lot in the construction industry because that's my background, but more and more I'm doing work outside. So at the moment I'm working with a manufacturing company around a new product they want to launch and the business plan around that. I'm working with an HR company on helping them get smarter on how they do the bidding and win work. I'm working with an FM company, facility management company. Yeah. So it's broadening it out, quite a wide range.
Huge range, but it goes to show that what you do is bespoke to the business. It's not one size fits all approach. You're looking to work alongside them.
And transferable. So most of the, in principle, most of the issues that one industry has is not too different from another one.
That's it. So obviously you're working with us at the moment, what's in on the directory and Kidbaz as well. You're looking to grow sort of your local clients.
Yes.
I think it's important. We obviously know here it's really important to support local businesses and help them grow. Obviously that's something you're looking to as well, which is amazing.
So that came about because, as I said, I started the business because I was not wanting to travel all over the country, but at the moment most of my clients from Scotland all the way down to the south coast. I don't actually have many within the area where I live, so engaging with you guys to help change that.
It's that face-to-face as well, isn't it? When you're maybe working businesses, it's a tricky time for them. Something's gone wrong, or they can see something's about to go wrong. You want to be there in person, don't you?
Yeah.
They need to get to know you because they're kind of putting business in your hands in a way.
Absolutely.
And you need to be there, and they need to trust you. I suppose, isn't it? You need to get to know the business as well.
Yeah, I'm not very good at doing it sort of at arm's length and away. I have to be at the business and go and see them. So
amazing. So that's obviously what you're doing.
Yeah.
Coming up, obviously, we're going to be looking at podcasts with you. Exciting time. What kind? I know we're not sure what they're going to be. We know what they're going to be about. Structure, we haven't really had a chat about yet. But what are you looking to do there?
Well, so that came about because before Christmas, I was thinking about how do I take what I do through the workshops and the seminars and effectively take them out on the road.
Yeah.
And I was talking to somebody, and they said think about doing podcasts and maybe take what I do for the workshops and then cut them into sort of half an hour or 20-minute whatever slices and do that through the podcast. So that's the idea. It's going to be interesting because how do I do a workshop over a podcast?
Yeah, we'll find out.
Or through a YouTube video or whatever. So that's going to be the interesting bit.
Yeah.
But that's also hopefully going to be the fun bit as well, and how we translate it and make
it an insight into what you're doing as well, so they can sort of maybe get a taste of what you're doing before they take that step. Reach out and be, look, this is where I'm at. Can you give me a hand? I need a bit of help. So I think it's nice insight in what you're doing, and it puts you out there as well. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Making sure people are aware that you're here and what you can offer them and how you can help their businesses get to the next level.
So I'm absolutely delighted because I've been struggling to think about how to do it and how to do the structure, and you guys have been really helpful with the social media side and
give you a hand where we can.
It's going to be really good.
No, that's it. I'm looking forward to it. Looking to see how it works, and we'll get some behind the scene clips and exciting times. So obviously, you're on the What's In directory, West Midlands and Worcestershire, but where can we find you? I know you do a lot on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So LinkedIn's probably the best place to find me, and I post generally through my own personal LinkedIn profile rather than through the company, although there is a company one there as well. Other than that, I'm also on Twitter or X, as it is now, but essentially it's the same stuff anyway. So LinkedIn's probably the best place, and you can message me, or they can message me directly on that. We have obviously got a website, and people can look at that, and also contact me through that.
Perfect, amazing. Well, it's not it for now. We'll move on to the podcast in a minute. But thank you so much for coming in today. This isn't the last live stream. We'll do another one soon. But thank you so much.